Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Nashtiprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Ter Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 15, the killing of Dhenuka, the ass demon. Text number 8 onwards. So yesterday we discussed how Krishna and Balram, they went to the forest with the cows, and they're enjoying, and all the inhabitants of the forest, like trees and the peacocks and the birds, and everybody is bowing down to Krishna and Balram, and Krishna is praising, glorifying Lord Balram, seeing to see how everybody's trying to touch your lotus feet. So further it says, Dhanyayam adya dharani trina viruddhas svat padisprasho drumalata karja vimrishta nabdyo adreya khagmrigaha sadyavaloke gopyo antarena bhujyor api yat spriha shrihi. This earth has now become most fortunate because you have touched her grass and bushes with your feet, and her trees and creepers with your fingernails, and because you have grazed her rivers, mountains, birds, and animals with your merciful glances. But above all, you have embraced a young cowherd man between your two arms, a favor hankered after by the goddess of fortune herself. The word Adya now indicates that the time of Lord Balram and Lord Krishna's appearance on the earth. In his form of Varadev, Lord Krishna personally saved the earth, and indeed the earth is understood to rest perpetually on the potency of Shesha. Both Vara and Shesha are expansions of Balaram, who is himself an expansion of Lord Krishna, the original personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna's statement that this earth has now become most fortunate indicates that nothing can equal the blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his personal form as Krishna, appearing simultaneously with the plenary expansion, Balaram. The compound word Karaja Bhimrishta, touched by your fingernails, indicates that as Krishna and Balaram would move through the forest, they would pick fruits and flowers from the trees, bushes, and creepers, and use this paraphernalia in their pleasure pastimes. Sometimes they would break leaves off the plants and use them with the flowers to decorate their bodies. So they were not using expensive jewelry to decorate their body. They were just using these flowers from the forest and trees and the birds. Some like that, things like that. Krishna and Balram would glance lovingly and mercifully at all the rivers, hills, and creatures in Vrindavan. But the blessing received by the gopis being embraced directly between the Lord's arms was a supreme benediction desired even by the goddess of fortune herself. The goddess of fortune who lives in Vaikuntha, chest of Lord Narayan, once desired to be embraced on the chest of Shri Krishna, and thus she performed severe austerities to achieve this blessing. Shri Krishna informed her that her actual place was at Vaikuntha, and that it was not possible for her to dwell upon his chest in Vrindavan. Therefore, she begged Krishna to allow her to remain on his chest in the form of a golden lion, and he granted her this benediction. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur recounts this incident from the Puranas. So even Lakshmi ji cannot enter Vrindavan or cannot have the same pastimes with Krishna in Vrindavan as she has in Vaikuntha with Narayan. But since she performed austerities, in fact, there's a place in Brajmandal, Belwan, and it is said that she is still performing austerities over there. There's a beautiful temple of Lakshmi ji over there. Because she wanted to enter the Ras Leela of Krishna. And Gopis said, you're not qualified. because your mood is not of Gopi, your mood is of Lakshmi. You have Lakshmi Bhav. So anyway, she's still performing austerities there. Hopefully one day she'll get access. But here, Krishna allowed her to remain on his chest in the form of a golden line. It's called Shri Vatsa. Shri Shukavacha, Evam Vrindavanam Shrimat Krishna Pritamana Pashun Reme Sancharya Nadre Saridrodha Sanuga. Shukdev Goswami said, thus expressing his satisfaction with the beautiful forest of Vrindavan and its inhabitants, Lord Krishna enjoyed tending the cows and other animals with his friends on the banks of the river Yamuna below Govardhan Hill. Kvachit Gayati Gayatsu Madan Dhalishva Anurataha Upagiyamana Charitaha Pati Sankarshananvitaha Anujalpati Jalpantam Kalvakya Shukam Kvachit Valgu Pujantam Anupujati Kokilam Kvachit Kal Hansanam Anupujati Kujitam Abhinartyati Nrityantam Varhinam Hasyan Kvachit Mega Gambhiraya Vacha Namabhir Duragan Pashun Kvachit Ayati Pritya Go Gopal Manogyaya. Sometimes the honeybees in Vrindavan became mad with ecstasy that they closed their eyes and began to sing. Lord Krishna, moving along the forest path with his cowherd boyfriends and Baladev, would then respond to the bees by imitating the singing while his friends sang about his pastimes. Sometimes Lord Krishna would imitate the chattering of a parrot, sometimes with the sweet voice, the call of a cuckoo, and sometimes the cries of the swans. Sometimes he vigorously imitated the dancing of a peacock, making his cowherd boyfriends laugh. Sometimes with a voice as deep as the rumbling of clouds, he would call out with great affection the names of the animals who had wandered far from the herd, thus enchanting the cows and the cowherd boys. They're just having lots and lots of fun in the forest. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that Lord Krishna would joke with his friends, saying, just look, this peacock does not know how to dance properly. Whereupon the Lord would vigorously imitate the peacock's dancing, causing great laughter among his friends. The bees in Vrindavan would bring the sap of the forest flowers, and the combination of this nectar and the association of Shri Krishna made them mad with intoxication. Thus they closed their eyes in ecstasy and expressed their satisfaction by humming. And this humming was also expertly imitated by the Lord. But actually, if you think oppositely, actually the humming was imitated by the bees, because whatever Krishna does, that's a source. If Krishna is dancing, here it says he is imitating the dancing of peacocks. No. Peacocks are imitating the dance of Krishna. After all, source is Krishna for everything. So if he is making the sweet voice of a cuckoo, the call of a cuckoo, actually cuckoo is learning from Krishna how to make that sound. But nevertheless, it's just beautiful pastimes and enjoyment, full masti going on in Vrindavan. Chakora kroncha chakrava bharatvansya barhina anuroti sma sattvanam bhitavadyangri singayo. Sometimes he would cry out in imitation of birds such as chakoras, kranchas, chakravahas, bharadvajas, and peacocks. And sometimes he would run away with the smaller animals in mock fear of lions and tigers. The word bhitavat, as if afraid, indicates that Lord Krishna played just like an ordinary boy and ran with smaller forest creatures in mock fear of the lions and tigers. Actually, in Vrindavan, the abode of the Lord, the lions and tigers are not violent, and thus there is no reason to fear them. But he wants to have fun with the smaller creatures. So there are tigers and lions in Vrindavan also, but they're not violent. क्वचित् क्रीडा परिश्रान्तं गोपुत संगोप बर्हणं स्वयं मिश्रं यत्यार्यं पादसंवाहनादिभिः. When his elder brother, fatigued from playing, would lie down with his head upon the lap of his cowherd boy, Lord Krishna would help him relax by personally massaging his feet and offering other services. So this is how he would serve Balaram. He would massage his feet. The word Pada Samvahanadibhi indicates that Lord Krishna would massage Balaram's feet, fan him, and bring him river water to drink. Nrityato gayata kwapi valgato yudhyato mitha grihithasto gopala asanto prashashansatu. Sometimes as the cowherd boys danced, sang, moved about, and playfully fought with each other, Krishna and Balaram, standing nearby, hand in hand, would glorify their friends' activities and laugh. क्वचित् पल्लव तल्पेषु नियुद्धश्रम कर्षितः वृक्षमूलाश्रया शेते गोपुत संगोप बर्हणः. Sometimes Lord Krishna grew tired from fighting and lay down at the base of a tree, resting upon a bed made of soft twigs and buds, and using the lap of a cowherd friend as his pillow. The word Pallav Talpeshu implies that Lord Krishna expanded himself into many forms and lay down upon the many beds of twigs, leaves, and flowers hastily constructed by his enthusiastic cowherd friends. So many forms would be there. It's just complete fun. That's all. Pada Samvahanam Chakru Kechitasya Mahatmanam Aparehat Papamano Vyajana Samvijayan. Some of the cowherd boys who were all great souls would then massage his lotus feet, and others qualified by being free of all sin would expertly fan the Supreme Lord. The word Samvijayam indicates that the cowherd boys fanned the Lord very carefully and expertly, creating gentle and cooling breezes. So the question is, why would he expand in so many forms? Because he wanted to give association to every cowherd boy. And he wanted to give them a chance to serve him, all of them at once. Anyatad anurupani manogyani mahatmana gayanti sma maharaja sneklin dhyashane. My dear king, other boys would sing enchanting songs appropriate to the occasion, and their hearts would melt out of love for the Lord. So somebody was massaging his feet, somebody was fanning him, somebody was singing appropriate songs out of love for Krishna. Evam nigudatma gati swamaya gopatma jatvam charitar vidambayan reme rama lalit pad pallavo gramya samam gramya avadish chestitaha. In this way, the Supreme Lord's soft lotus feet are personally attended by the goddess of fortune, concealed his transcendental opulences by his internal potency, and acted like the son of a cowherd. Yet even while enjoying like a village boy in the company of other village residents, he exhibited feats only God would perform. So sometimes he would hide his internal potency, and sometimes he would exhibit feats only God would perform, like killing of so many demons. Shridama Nama Gopalo Rama Keshavayo Sakha Subalastoku Krishnadya Gopa Premne Adam Abravan. Once, some of the cowherd boys, Sridama, the very close friend of Ram and Krishna, along with Subal, Stok Krishna and others, lovingly spoke the following words. Now, who is Sridama? He's a Gopsakha, but he is brother of Radharani. The word premna with love indicates that the request the cowherd boys are about to place before Lord Krishna and Lord Balram is motivated by love, not personal desire. The cowherd boys were eager for Krishna and Balram to exhibit the pastimes of killing demons and to enjoy the delicious fruits of the Tal forest, and therefore they made the following request. So there was a Tal one nearby, and they wanted Krishna and Balram to enjoy those fruits. So they made the following request. Ram Rama Mahabahu Krishna Dushta Nibarhana Ito Avidure Sumahad Vanam Talalit Sankulam. Cowherd boy said, O Ram, Ram, mighty armed one, O Krishna, destroyer of the miscreants, not far from here is a very great forest filled with rows of palm trees. As stated in Shri Varaha Puran, Asti Govardhanam Nama Kshetram Param Durlabham Mathura Pashime Bhage Adurad Yojan Dvayam. Not far from the western side of Mathura, at a distance of 2 yojans, 16 miles, is a holy place named Govardhan, which is most difficult to attain. It's also stated in Varaha Puran, Asti Talavanam Nama Denakasura Rakshitam Mathura Pashime Bhage Adurad Eka Yojanam. Not far from the western side of Mathura, 1 yojan away, on 8 miles, is a forest known as Talvan, which was guarded by Dhenukasura. Thus it appears that the Talvan forest is located midway between Mathura and Govardhan Hill. The forest of Talvan is described in the Shri Harivansha as follows. Satu Desha Samasnigdha Sumahan Krishna Mritikaha Darbha Praya Sthulibhuta Loshtra Pashana Varjita. The land there is even, smooth, and very expansive. The earth is black, densely covered with the darba grass and devoid of stones and pebbles. So beautiful place this Talvan is. Falani tatra bhurini patanti patitani cha santi kintva avruddhani dhenukena duratmana. In the Talvan forest, many fruits are falling from the trees and many are already lying on the ground. But all the fruits are being guarded by the evil Dhenukasura. The demon Dhenuka would not allow anyone to eat the delicious, ripe palm fruits of the Talvan. And Krishna's young boyfriends protested this unjust usurpation of the right to enjoy the fruits of a public forest. Actually, it was not a public forest. It was forest that belonged to Kamsa. So Dhenukasura with his associates, he was there to guard that forest, to collect all the fruits and send to Kansa Maharaj. But Gopal's, the Gopsakhas are Gopsakhas. What to do? They wanted to eat those fruits. Swati Virya Asura Rama, He Krishna Khararupadrik, Atma Tulya Balaranyar, Gyate Bhir Bahubhir Vritaha. O Ram, O Krishna, Dhenuka is a most powerful demon and has assumed the form of an ass or a donkey, big donkey. He's surrounded by many friends who have assumed a similar shape and who are just as powerful as he. Tasmat kritan raharada bhitar nribhir mitrahan nasevyate pashuganhe pakshi sankar vivarjitam. The demon Dhenuka has eaten men alive, and therefore all people and animals are terrified of going to the Tal forest. O killer of the enemy, even the birds are afraid to fly there. So this is how dangerous or terrible this demon was. Even the birds are afraid to fly. The cowherd boyfriends of Lord Krishna and Lord Balram encouraged the 2 brothers to go at once to the Tal forest and kill the ass demon. Indeed, here they address the brothers as Amitrahan, killer of the enemy. The cowherd boys were engaged in ecstatic meditation upon the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and reasoned thus. Krishna has already killed terrible demons like Baka and Aga. So what's so special about this obnoxious jackass named Dhenuka, who has become public enemy number one in Vrindavan? The cowherd boys wanted Krishna and Balram to kill the demons so that all the pious inhabitants of Vrindavan could enjoy the fruits in the Thal forest. Thus they requested the special favor that the ass demons be killed. Vidyante abhukta purvani falani surbhini cha eshva surbhirgandho vishu chinno avgrihate. In the tall forest of sweet-smelling fruits no one has ever tasted. Even now we can smell the fragrance of the tal fruits spreading all about. And they were acting also, Sri Dama and Subal and all that. We can smell the fragrance. Nice fragrance is coming. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, the sweet fragrance of the tal fruits was carried by an easterly wind, which is conducive to rain in the Vrindavan area. This easterly wind generally blows in the month of Bhadra and thus indicates the excellent ripeness of the fruits, while the fact that the boys could smell them indicates the nearness of the Thal forest. Prayachatani na Krishna gandha lobhita chetasa panchasti mahatirama gamyatam yadirochate. Oh Krishna, please get those fruits for us. Our minds are so attracted by their aroma. Dear Balaram, our desire to have those fruits is very great. If you think it's a good idea, let's go to that Thal forest. Now, can you believe? The cowherd boys, Sakhas, they're telling Krishna Balaram, we want to enjoy those fruits. Our minds are so attached. Please get those fruits for us. Basically ordering Krishna and Balaram. But this is what Krishna and Balaram loved, to take care of their cowherd friends. And secondly, there's another reason. Now these boys could have said that we want you to enjoy those fruits. Oh Krishna, oh Balaram, we want you to enjoy it. And actually this is what happens always. They want to make sure Krishna and Balaram enjoy first. But they were afraid if they said this way, that we want you to enjoy, Krishna Balaram, no, why bother going to Talwan and fighting with Dhenukasura? We can enjoy fruit somewhere else. But these boys wanted Dhenukasura to be dead. And that's when they said, we want to enjoy. See the difference? And now Krishna and Balaram will make sure these boys get the fruits they want to enjoy, because they cannot say no to their devotees, to their friends. Although neither man nor bird nor beast could even approach the Thal forest, the cowherd boys had so much faith in Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram that they took it for granted the two lords could effortlessly kill the sinful ass demons and acquire the delicious Thal fruits. Lord Krishna's cowherd boyfriends are exalted, self-realized souls who would not ordinarily become greedy for sweet fruits. In fact, they're simply joking with the Lord and enthusing his pastime, urging him to perform unprecedented heroic feats in the Thal forest. Innumerable demons disturbed the sublime atmosphere of Vrindavan during Lord Krishna's presence there, and the Lord would kill such demons as a popular daily event. Since Lord Krishna had already killed many demons, on this particular day he decided to give first honors to Lord Balaram, who would demolish the first demon, Dhenuka. By the words, Yadi Rochate, cowherd boys indicate that Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram need not kill the demon simply by them. Rather, they should do so only if the lords themselves found the concept appealing. So they left it up to them. Evam suhrid vacha shrutva suhrid priya chikirshaya prahasya jagmattur gopar vrito talvanam prabhu. Hearing the words of their dear companions, Krishna and Balram laughed and, desiring to please them, set off for the Thalvan surrounded by their cowherd boyfriends. Lord Krishna was thinking, how can a mere ass be so formidable? And thus he smiled at the petition of his boyfriends. As stated by Lord Kapil in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Hasam Hare Ravanta Khila Loka Tivra Shokashru Sagar Vishonayam Atiudaram. The smile and laughter of the Supreme Lord Hari is most magnanimous. Indeed, for those who bow down to the Lord, his smile and laughter dry up the ocean of tears caused by the intense suffering of this world. So his smile and laughter is good enough for the devotees, and even those who bow down, they're looking at the smile of Krishna, they can forget all their miseries. So this is why Krishna Balram laughed and they said, okay, let's go. Thus, to encourage their boyfriends, Lord Krishna and Lord Balram smiled, laughed, and immediately set out with them for the Tal forest. Bala pravishya bahubhyam talansam parikampayam falani patya masa matangaj ivojasa. Lord Balram entered the Thal forest first. Then with his two arms, he began forcefully shaking the trees with the power of a maddened elephant, causing the Thal fruits to fall to the ground. So this is what Balramji did. He did not increase his size. He was all same, Krishna Balram, 5-6 years old. And he entered Thal forest and huge trees. He started shaking them and the Thal fruits were falling to the ground. Phalanam patatam shabdam nishamya surrasabha abhyadhavat shyatitalam sanagam parikampayam. Hearing the sound of the falling fruits, the ass demon Dhenuka ran forward to attack, making the earth and trees tremble. Sametya tarasa pratyam dvabhyam padabhyam balam bali nihatyorasi ka shabdam munchan parya sarat khala. The powerful demon rushed up to Lord Baladev and sharply struck the Lord's chest with the hooves of his hind legs. Then Dhenuka began to run about, braying loudly. He was very angry. Who is this? Who have all these boys come from? Where did they come from? And who are these boys taking the Thal fruit from here? Punarasadya samrabdha upakroshta parastita charnav paro rajan balaya prakship drusha. Moving again toward Lord Balram, O king, the furious ass situated himself with his back towards the Lord. Thus, screaming in rage, the demon hurled his two hind legs at him. The word upakroshta indicates an ass and also one who's crying out nearby. Thus, it is indicated herein that the powerful Dhenuka made horrible, angry sounds. And since the donkeys, they always attack with their hind legs, donkey or horse. So he just ran towards Balramji. As soon as he was close by, he just stopped, turned around, and with his hind legs, with full power, he hurled his two hind legs at him. He wanted to hit Balramji with the hoofs of his legs. Sutam grihitva prapadora brahmit vakapanina chekshevatrana rajagre brahman tyakta jivitam. Lord Balram seized Dhenuka by his hooves, whirled him about with one hand and threw him into the top of a palm tree. The violent wheeling motion killed the demon. Just with one hand, he grabbed one of his legs, twirled him around and threw him on the top of the tree. And when he fell down, he just died. Or even the wheeling motion killed him. Tena hato mahatalo vepamano brihachira parshvastam kampayan bhagna sachanyam sopi chaparam. Lord Balram threw the dead body of Dhenukasura into the tallest palm tree in the forest, and when the dead demon landed in the tree top, the tree began shaking. The great palm tree, causing a tree by its side also to shake, broke under the weight of the demon. The neighboring tree caused yet another tree to shake, and this one struck yet another tree, which also began shaking. In this way, many trees in the forest shook and broke. So Lord Balram threw the demon Dhenuka so violently into the great palm tree that a chain reaction, or what we say dominoes effect, happened, was unleashed, and many towering palm trees shook and then broke with a great crashing sound. And they are just little boys. This is all killed, all the demons in Vrindavan. Balasya Lilyot Srishta Khar Deha Hatahata Talascha Kampire Sarve Mahavate Rita Iva. Because of Lord Balram's pastime of throwing the body of ass demon into the top of the tallest palm tree, all the trees began shaking and striking against one another as if blown about by powerful winds. Nata Chitram Bhagavati Yanante Jagadishware Otaprotam Idam Yasmins Tantushva Anga Yatha Pataha. My dear Parishad, that Lord Balram killed Dhenukasura is not such a wonderful thing, considering that he is the unlimited personality of Godhead, the controller of the entire universe. Indeed, the entire cosmos rests upon him, just as a woven cloth rests upon its horizontal and vertical threads. Unfortunate persons cannot appreciate the blissful pastimes of the Supreme Lord. In this connection, Srila Jiva Goswami explains that the Supreme Lord possesses unlimited potency and strength, as expressed here by the word Anante. The Lord exhibits a tiny fraction of his power according to the need of a particular situation. Lord Balram desired to vanquish the gang of demoniac asses who had unlawfully seized the Palwan forest, and therefore he exhibited just enough divine opulence to easily kill Dhenukasura and the other demons. Easily he killed them. Tata Krishnam cha Ramam cha gyatyo Dhenukasya ye kroshtaro abhyadravan sarve samarabda hat bandhava. The other ass demons, close friends of Dhenukasura, were enraged upon seeing his death, and thus they all immediately ran to attack Krishna and Balaram. So he had his friends, they all had to be killed. So they all ran to attack Krishna and Balaram. Srila Sanatana Goswami makes the following comment on this verse. It is stated here that the ass demons first attacked Krishna and then Balaram. Krishnam cha Ramam cha. Why? One reason for this is that the demons, having seen the prowess of Lord Balram, thought it wise to attack Krishna first. They thought, okay, Balram is too powerful for us to handle. Let's attack Krishna. And when Krishna beat them up, they went to Balram also to kill him. But got killed by Balram and Krishna both. Or it may be that out of affection for his elder brother, Lord Krishna placed himself between Balram and the ass demons. The words Krishnam cha Ramam cha may also be understood that to indicate that Lord Balram, out of affection for his younger brother, went to Lord Krishna's side to protect him, maybe. But anyway, now the different associates of Dhenukasura are coming and attacking. Tanstana patatah Krishno Ramascha nirpa lilaya grihita pascha charanan rahinotrana rajasu. O king, as the demons attacked Krishna and Balram, easily seized them one after another by their hind legs and threw them all into the tops of the palm trees. Phal prakara sankiranam date dehar gatasudhi rajabhu sata lagra ghanerev nabhastalam. The earth then appeared beautifully covered with heaps of fruits and with the dead bodies of the demons, which were entangled in the broken tops of the palm trees. Indeed, the earth shone like the sky decorated with clouds. So many as, and they were huge, huge demons. They looked like the earth shone like the sky, decorated with clouds. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the bodies of the demons were dark, like dark blue clouds, and the large quantity of blood that had flowed from their bodies appeared like bright red clouds. Thus, the whole scene was very beautiful. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his various forms, such as Ram and Krishna, is always transcendental. And when he enacts his transcendental pastimes, the result is always beautiful and transcendental. Even when the Lord performs violent acts like killing the stubborn ass demons. तयोस्तत् सुमहत् कर्म निशम्य विबुधादय मुमुचु पुष्प वर्षाणि चक्रुर्वाद्यानि तुष्टुभुः. Hearing of this magnificent feat of the two brothers, the demigods and other elevated living beings rained down flowers and offered music and prayers in glorification. Srila Sanatana Goswami comments that the demigods, great sages, and other exalted beings were all astonished and ecstatic upon seeing the unusually swift and nonchalant way in which Krishna and Balram killed the very powerful ass demons in the Tal forest. People, I'm sorry, didn't read the shloka. अथ ताल फलान्यादन मनुष्य गत साध्वसा तृणम च पशवश्चेरुर अथ धेनुक कानने. People now felt free to return to the forest where Dhenuka had been killed, and without fear they ate the fruits of the palm trees. Also the cows could now graze freely upon the grass there. According to the Acharyas, low-class people such as the Pulindas ate the fruits of the palm trees, but Krishna's cowherd boyfriends considered them undesirable, those fruits. They said, no, we don't want any more. Why? Because since they had been tainted with the blood of the asses. So first they said that we want to eat those fragrant fruits. But once the demons were killed and the fruits are on the ground, they said, we don't want to eat them. This is what boys do. But, okay, so this is where how Bhagavatam ends. But Garg Samhita, that talks about this pastime in a little different way. I'm just trying to find where is that. Okay, so Dhenukasura. So as they entered, this is from Garg Samhita. As they entered the Pauganda age, Krishna and Balram were allowed by the older cowherd men to herd the cows. Krishna and Balram happily observed the forest, the lake whose clear water resembled the minds of great souls. They saw some trees bowing down under the weight of their fruits, so that we read. Okay, so some of the boys, headed by Sridhama, Subal, and Stoka Krishna, requested the lords to go into Talvan because there were very nice fruits there. So really they wanted to offer, but they said, no, we want them. So you better please help, give us. So Balramji entered the forest first. And at that time, when he shook the trees, Dhenukasura was taking a nap, taking a midday nap. But the sound made by the Lord Balram woke him up and he was very angry. So he charged the Lord. According to Garg Samhita, Dhenukasura was having a midday nap when Krishna, Balram, and all the cowherd boys came into the forest. Dhenukasura attacked Balram and hit him with his rear legs Then Balram picked him up and threw him 1 yojan, 8 miles. This hurt his head badly and he fell unconscious. But then he got up again and attacked the cowherd boys in a terrible 4-horned form. So he had 4 horns. Now, what did all the cowherd boys do? Now they're not gonna just hide behind the trees and let Krishna and Balram have all the fun. They're gonna help Krishna Balram. Shridam hit him with a stick. Subal punched him. So when he came close, Subal punched him. Stoka Krishna whipped him with a rope. So that's all they had. Arjun and Anshu threw him. Vishal and Rishabh kicked him. Tejasvi tried to strangle him. Devaprastha slapped him. And Varuthapa looks like he was little, he was the youngest. Body-wise also he was little. So what did he do? He could not go near Dhenukasura. So he threw his ball at him just to hit him. Then what happened? Dhenukasura thought, oh, Balram is powerful. He threw me 8 miles. So let me attack Krishna first. Bhagavatam doesn't speak about it, but Garthanita speaks a little bit more. So he attacked Krishna. Then Krishna threw him onto Govardhan Hill. And he was unconscious for 1 hour. Not easy day for Dhenukasura today. Then the demon assumed his normal form and grabbed Krishna with his horns and flew into the sky. And these guys don't go 1 or 2 miles. They went 800,000 miles. 1 lakh yojans. So he went with Krishna 1 lakh yojans up in the sky. But Krishna threw him to the ground and knocked him unconscious again. But then he got up again. It's a huge demon, very, very powerful demon. Then he came down. Now Balram is still, he was thinking Balram is very powerful, but Krishna is also very powerful. Now what to do? Then Dhenukasura uprooted Govardhan Hill. Can you imagine an ass just taking whole Govardhan Hill? And that time Giriraji was also very big. Now he has grown smaller. Then Dhenukasura uprooted Govardhan Hill and threw it at Krishna. Krishna caught it and threw it back at Dhenukasura. Dhenuka caught it and threw back again, and so did Krishna. But then Krishna thought, no, why? We are not supposed to play volleyball with Govardhan. He's supposed to be there, down there. So he put Govardhan down. So then Dhenukasura said, no, okay, Krishna is also too much. Then he attacked Balram again, and the Lord killed him. So Balram caught him by his front hooves and whirling with one hand threw him onto the top of one of the tall trees. And then there was a dominoes effect. And then the other asses ran at Krishna and they were afraid of Balram seeing what he had done to Dhenukasura. Alternatively, out of affection, Krishna may have stood between Balram and them. So this is how they killed all the asses. They just picked them up, threw them on the top of the tree, and then by wheeling they would die. If not, they would fall on the ground and then they would die. Leaving his body, Dhenuka manifested a splendid and handsome dark form, wearing yellow garments and decorated with the forest flower garden. Then a chariot filled with the sea to take his soul who came. Then a chariot filled with 100,000 of the Lord's associates, decorated with 1,000 flags, rumbling with 1,000 wheels, pulled by 10,000 horses, glorious with 100,000 charmers, yellow, studded with many jewels, 8 miles long, beautiful, traveling as fast as a mind, and decorated with many bells and tinkling ornaments, suddenly appeared. Then the demon circumambulated Krishna and Balram, and then filling the directions with light, he ascended the chariot and went to Goloka. So what does this Dhenukasura represent?
Evil.
Haribo. I'm just trying to get to that.
Prabhuji, it means
Yes, ma'am.
evil.
No. Evil, yeah, but he represents one of the anarthas in our heart. So when we read these pastimes with faith, because Krishna killed him, so those anarthas from our heart, they go away when we read these pastimes again and again. So when we read, Krishna goes in the form of his holy name, and he kills those anarthas, so unwanted desires in our heart. So that's the representation of Dhenukasura. I'm just trying to find that text. Of course, he represents a ass-like mentality. There's more to it.
Mm-hmm.
So Dhenukasura represents ignorance of knowledge of the soul through gross materialistic intelligence, or jackass-like foolishness. Is foolish. So according to Greg Samhita, in his previous life, he was a son of Bali Maharaj, named Sahasika. He offended Durvasa Muni by disturbing him when the Muni was meditating, by making a lot of noise while he was enjoying with 10,000 women on Mount Gandhamadhan. Durvasa cursed him to become an ass, simply saying, fool, ass-like person, become an ass, or demon. After 400,000 years in transcendental circle of Mathura, in the sacred forest of Talwan, you will attain liberation by Lord Balram's hands. He could not be killed by Krishna. There's a reason. Because Krishna had given his word to Prahlad Maharaj, or Lord Narasimhadev has given his word to Prahlad Maharaj that he would not kill any of his family members. And since this Sahasik was son of Bali Maharaj, was grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, so Krishna did not want to kill him. So Balramji killed him. So some technical points there. Some special considerations regarding the demons killed by Lord Balram. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in his Chaitanya Shikshamrita, there are two demons killed by Shri Baladeva, but the contaminations or anarthas they represent will have to be removed by dint of devotees' own endeavors. This is one of the secret mysteries of Vraj Bhakti. So Krishna, the demons that were killed by Krishna represent the anarthas that are going to be removed by mercy of Krishna. But these two demons, one was Dhenukasura and the other was the Dvivid, the gorilla, who Balramji will kill it. Oh no, Pralambasura, I'm sorry, Pralambasura, who Balramji will kill later on. So the demons, the anarthas they represent, we have to remove them by our own endeavors. The jackass demon, Dhenukasura, represents the bad mentality of overburdened load carrying. Overburdened load carrying, because ass he always carries so much of load, and then he says, I have no time for anything else. And this is what we also do. Oh, I don't have time for chanting. I don't have time for attending classes or reading Prabhupada's books. But for that, we have to sit down and do our sadhana properly. And the Pralambasura demon represents lust for the company of the opposite sex, as well as a desire for profit, adoration, and distinction. When a devotee endeavors with enthusiasm to remove these contaminations, then by Lord Balaram's mercy, they will be cast far away. Dhenukasura causes complete and total ignorance of one's eternal identity. It also stimulates foolish misconceptions about the eternal nature of the holy name of the Lord. Plus, it misdirects one with delusions about what is actually worshipable. These contaminations must be cast out through great endeavor on the part of the devotee. So this is what Dhenukasura represents, and this is what we have to make sure that we don't get bogged down by our so many illogical logics that, oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that, for chanting or reading or doing other services. We have to make time. We have to. So that endeavor we have to put in. And then Balramji's mercy will always be there. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, so you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.